Hey, yo, chill. Hey, sorry guys, I'm just trying to lay low here because this laser sight has been tracking me all throughout KC. You know, I know that Vantage is no joke this season. She's pretty good. But you know who's even better? Is Newcastle. Because look at this wall. This thing is sturdy. This thing is holding down the fort. I might even pitch a tent. Might even start a campfire. You know, stay for a little while. And that's what this video is all about. 5 tips to help you to dominate with Newcastle. So let's get into it. Wait, hold on. A pork chop. Okay. Mirage, you actually might be good for something. Right before we hop into the video, I'm going to be giving away 1,000 Apex Legends coins. To enter, all you have to do is like the video, be subscribed to the channel, and then comment on this video, and you'll be entered for a chance to win 1,000 Apex coins. Now, first off, all 3 of Newcastle's abilities were buffed for Season 14, and this video is going to give you plenty of tips and tricks to help you dominate with Newcastle in your games. First, I'm going to quickly cover his changes, and then I'll get into specific tips with mastering Newcastle in Season 14. So Newcastle's passive ability is Retrieve the Wounded, which allows him to drag down allies to safety while reviving them. During this time, he protects them with his knockdown shield, and this ability was improved this season as Newcastle now has increased movement speed by 25% and reduced turn slow by 50% while he's reviving his allies. His tactical ability deploys a tall energy shield that can reposition an angle in any direction to protect himself and his teammates. The tactical is a super good ability if you're caught off guard in the open and you need some makeshift cover. The cover can also guard your exposed side as you take a forceful position over a team. With the mobile shield, they doubled its max movement speed and increased its HP from 350 to 500, which is a really notable difference. And then lastly, with his abilities, Castle Wall is his ultimate, and this is where Newcastle can Superman jump forward and slam down a massive wall. The front of the wall also has an electrical barrier, and with Season 14 they increased the severity of the slowing effects to enemies with this ultimate ability, so if enemies touch this wall, you are going to be able to easily knock them and beam them. Now, my first tip with Newcastle is that this legend should not be played as a static defender like Gibraltar. If you play as Newcastle, you're actually able to take different angles and positions that a traditional defensive legend like Gibraltar or Caustic could not. Since Newcastle has incredible mobility, you do have a get out of jail free ability with that ultimate ability, so don't stay stagnant, and if your team needs you to take an off angle and flank, then be prepared to do so. You should also be prepared to use your ultimate to quickly jump to any ally in need. The best time to utilize your abilities is when the enemy team is about to push, because Newcastle can stop that push in its tracks and give yourself a strong position from which you can punish your overexposed enemies. So although you are very unique as a legend and you have some more mobility as a defender, for the most part still remember you are the tank and you are the anchor of your team, meaning you usually hold the team firm near the back and your goal is to offer non-stop utility to the team. You use that mobile shield as your teammates require more cover, and then you jump to their safety as soon as they take too much damage. The true secret to mastering Newcastle is to be able to think one step ahead of the enemy team and even your teammates, to be there to protect them before they even ask you for help, and then you can also even be there to be the aggressor and use that shield wall and have it push in, and you and your team can push in behind it to take ground and take space. Remember, the best offense with Newcastle is a good defense. If your squad is alive and they're protected with your abilities, they're able to keep shooting and you guys are able to win more fights as a squad. Tip number 2 for Newcastle is in regards to his strength with a specific weapon loadout. Since all of your abilities are focused on directional protection from gunfire, some of the most optimal weapons for Newcastle are weapons you can pick and pop with. What I mean by this is using a weapon like a wingman, G7, or a shotgun like the Peacekeeper, where you're able to apply some pressure from behind cover, but you can immediately pop back back into your cover for max protection. With Newcastle, you'll find a lot of success engaging at mid-range, where you have some space to make most of your shields as well. This makes assault rifles and LMGs also good picks for Newcastle. My main recommendation for Newcastle would be to pick a strong mid-range weapon like the G7 Scout and pair it with a powerful Peacekeeper or Car SMG. You can quickly poke with the G7 in and out of cover, and if enemies threaten you and get close to your mobile shield, then you can play around it to the best of your ability with that Peacekeeper. Tip number 3 involves learning how to fight with and around his specific abilities. Just like Gibraltar, where you have to learn how to master fighting in and around the bubble, with Newcastle you need to be effective with fighting around his castle wall and mobile shield. Like I mentioned previously, weapons like the wingman and shotguns are extremely good because they allow you to jiggle peek in and out of cover. If you want to win more fights with Newcastle, the real key is being able to place your cover correctly and knowing how to hit a few shots and play that shoulder glitch or that jiggle peek with your cover to make you an extremely difficult target to hit because that shield wall is protecting you. So practice this in your games, guys, and trust me, it's going to take you a long way. Tip number 4, know how to make the most out of your castle wall. Your castle wall ultimate ability serves you for many encounters. Knowing exactly how and when to use it is vital to your success. If the situation calls for it, don't just utilize your castle wall to jump to a teammate to protect them. Sometimes you could even jump to flank another enemy or get a just amazing high ground to be able to shoot down on your enemies, and they won't be able to have any counter to that mobility. Now with the castle wall, aiming the ability at your allies can let you jump higher and further. This lets you cross larger distances to provide them with very rapid protection. Plus, the initial slam will knock back any nearby enemies, giving you a chance to get your position behind the wall while they're a little bit disoriented. Also, the wall is electrified like we talked about before, so if enemies touch it, they'll be briefly stunned and take a little bit of damage, so use this to your advantage when someone pushes in too close. Be sure to jump over and around the shield and attempt to force them to mantle over a short section or accidentally brush against the wall while they're trying to track you, and then you can capitalize on your opportunity to dish out damage when they're stunned. Don't be afraid to block enemies in a specific room or location with your giant castle wall, and there are plenty of times where instead of jumping with the castle wall, you'll just want to look down and immediately throw down your cover because it would be most optimal to defend that specific location. Tip number 5, beware of your counters. Unlike Gibby, who has a full dome of protection, Newcastle is very direction based. This makes you susceptible to flanks and certain ultimate abilities that create genuine havoc for your team. Most notably, you want to keep an eye out for people throwing grenades behind your shields or abilities that allow enemies to sneak behind you in some way to catch you off guard. This is why Newcastle pairs extremely well with Wattson. If you want to take a more defensive approach with your team, have Wattson place her ultimate safely behind the large middle wall of the castle, and it will protect your team from grenades or any bombardments. One of your biggest counters is Bangalore, who can disrupt your area with smoke grenades and allow her squad to push while you're disoriented. Her and Gibby also have that large area of effect ultimate that can flush you out of cover and open areas, but at least in Newcastle's perspective, Bangalore and even Gibraltar have somewhat fallen out of the meta due to Bangalore being countered by Seer and Gibraltar being countered by Maggie and Crypto with his bubbles. And also Newcastle just seems to be the more popular pick for support these days, so there hasn't been a lot of Gibraltar out there in the battlefield this season. Now, since you guys have made it this far, how about some bonus tips? Newcastle can throw down his shield near a door and give him much more time to heal. This is useful when you're trying to stall to get off a shield battery, so throw down your shield wall and block the door from the other side so enemies can't kick or knock your door down. And then lastly, you should have knockdown shield priority. You can grab your down teammates and pull them to safety when you revive them, and that shield that's being deployed during this process is powered by your own knockdown shield. The fact that the gold knockdown now provides you with extra health on revive actually means that this was somewhat of a small buff for Newcastle. Because of this, Newcastle should have priority over the best knockdown shield from among your team. So there you guys go. Those are my tips for Newcastle and the meta in season 14. Let me know if you guys want me to go more in detail with an ultimate Newcastle guide, and maybe we can bring that to the channel at a later date. If you're interested in learning more about the meta in season 14 to find other legends to pair with Newcastle, then check out my season 14 legend tier list. And guys, I'll catch you in the next video. All right, I'm Grizzy and I'm out. Peace.